again, Broncos country.
Really excited to chop up some Broncos with you all this week.
Bourbon, Broncos, and no BS.
Favorite time of the week. We're not for the Raiders, Chargers, or Chiefs. So grab your brews in your fantasy league. We got that blue and orange blood that you bleed. The most loyal fans there ever could be. We are that mile high Broncos country.
Orange Weekly, fans, brews, and Broncos news. What's up, Broncos country? How y'all doing today? My name's Kevdan, and we are less than an hour away from kickoff. And so it is time to talk about the Broncos because they are about to take the field and face the New York Giants in this week 1 matchup. And we are all excited about, hopefully, knock on wood, not to jinx it, walk away for with the first win in September that we have had in years. Lots of questions to be answered. I want to hear your thoughts, what you guys have on your mind. What are you looking forward to? What are some of your concerns? Let's walk through them. And really quickly, as we start to pull those up, don't forget about all the other Orange Weekly content we have for you guys, the pregame and the postgame podcasts. We also got the Tuesday night shows, the Monday night show at 9 p.m. Mountain Time is Orange Weekly After Dark. We have this show. Don't forget about check us out at halftime as well. So lots of stuff. So Jerry, how you doing? Glad you're here. Let's go Broncos indeed. Daniel, Bradley Chubb is out. Yep. Even if he was in, not looking to see him. We weren't expecting to see him do much. Look, this is not to discount like this is going to be an easy win per se, but it's week 1. We have Von Miller. We have, we're relatively healthy everywhere else. Let's see what Cooper can go do out there, especially after what he did during the preseason, and really give him a chance to shine and gain some of that experience without, making whatever injury Bradley Chubb have even worse. So that's fine by me. Anthony, let's go Broncos. Paula, go Broncos. How you all doing? So start posting some score predictions as well. I want to see what you all have. If you guess the correct score prediction today, we will send you some awesome Broncos Orange Weekly swag. Not sure what that's. Nobody's guessed the score correctly before, so go ahead and post your score predictions. Daniel, so excited for the season. There is actually a lot to look forward to this year, believe it or not. It's not just that the Broncos are back, and we were talking about this before, where the orange-colored glasses are on, and I'm just glad the Broncos are back. The Broncos are back, but there's a lot of good things going on for this team, right? They have they're incredibly healthy. They have players like Pat Surtain. They have players like Javonte Williams. They have Von Miller back. Bradley Chubb's going to be back, if not today, next week. Everyone across the board is healthy. The question, Cortland Sutton is back. The question really is revolving around Teddy Bridgewater. Can he stay healthy? And can he perform? Those are two things there. Can he perform? We don't need him to go out there and be, lights out amazing. Can he protect the football? Because how many years in a row have we talked about us losing games due to turnovers? Hey, if we hadn't had those 2, 3, 4 turnovers, we probably would have won a game because we only lost by a touchdown or something like that, So that's something to definitely watch. Can we protect the football? Also, special teams. Special teams is going to be huge to watch for, to see if those people or that group improved, because that was by far, I don't want to say embarrassing, because it was way beyond embarrassing last year. 32nd in the league last year in special teams by a lot. There was a huge difference between 31 and 32, and we were way down here. And so can special teams bring it back up? Not saying we need to be number one, but can we be at least maybe somewhere in the 20s? That would be nice. Tony, how you doing? Anthony's thinking 26-10 Broncos. Daniel, 24-14 Broncos. Dwayne, 30 Broncos 35, Giants 17. Okay. Jerry, 32 Broncos, 13 Giants. And Robert, just Broncos in general. So keep posting the score predictions. We'll go back and look. If you know that you guessed the score prediction correctly, please message us. And we'll go back and it'll help us, not have to, cut down, go through all the individual comments ourselves. But glad you're all here with us. So what are some of the players you are all excited for? I want to hear some of that as well. On the Giant side, the big one is one, they're starting in their home field. And their lead running back, who I'm drawing a blank on right now, don't know why, haven't had my coffee yet, is probably not going to be playing very much. He's probably going to be more on a snap count, and that's okay for us, but same thing. They don't want to injure him too much right off the bat. And so I think we're going to be able to really manage the game on the defense side of the ball. I think our defense is going to go out there and play lights out. That's what we really expect them to do this year, right? We're going to be winning some of these games on the back of the defense, and they know that. We don't have a star quarterback. We're kind of really playing still with a backup quarterback level guy in Teddy Bridgewater. I'm not trying to knock him. I'm on the Teddy Bridgewater train. I back him. I back him 100%. I'm not going to knock him down. I'm not trying to discount him any, but let's face facts. He's not a starter quarterback quality player, at least not right now. As he works into this, maybe he's bouncing back. He comes back and he has a lights out year. And if he does, then fantastic, phenomenal, right? I think we're all hoping for that, but that's just not what the case is right now. Cindy, how you doing? 24-14 Broncos. Who's going to have a bigger game? Now, this is an area that I am really excited to watch for, because the defensive line of the Giants is actually not too bad. They're pretty damn good. I am really hoping Williams goes out there and shows that, what he's made of. We saw what he did in preseason. He did it well enough in the first 2 preseason games that they decided to not play him in that 3rd preseason game, because we saw everything that we needed to see about him, and they sat him in that 3rd preseason game. And so I think you're going to see Gordon start. I think that's just how it's going to be. Gordon's going to start. It's probably going to be a 60-40 split, unless Williams really just kind of gets, the hot hand, and then you're going to see him get more and more touches. I think Williams has the body type and the power and the explosiveness, especially when you get him in open field, to go out there and make some plays. Now, he's a rookie, probably has those rookie jitters right now going out on the field for his first regular season game. Can he minimize any rookie mistakes? And that's really what's going to come down to it, as to if he has a better game or not. And that's just me. But the combination of Williams and Gordon is a fantastic duo. That's a great 1-2 punch. I mean, you can put them back there both together and really confuse the defense as to, hey, what are they going to do? Are they going to throw? Are they going to run? What's going to happen? Which one's going to block? And I think Williams is going to look fantastic today. And I think Gordon, Gordon last year was talking about how he got in his own head because Philip Lindsay was the favorite. And that kind of brought his play a little down a little bit. Well, Phillip Lindsay isn't here. Sadly, we miss him. But that really, Gordon has no excuse not to do well this year. And so he has a lot to prove as well. So we'll see how that works out. I'm thinking Williams at the end of the day is going to have the bigger game though, just because of how powerful, explosive, and just how well-rounded he is in both the running game and the catching game. So that's me. Good question, Mason. Thanks for that. Andrew, 26-17 Broncos. Let's see. Thoughts on the Broncos and active list, and let me pull that up for you guys. I don't think I saw that there were any surprise players. Of course, Bradley Chubb. Inactives versus Giants. So we'll go down this list here for you. So let's see. Broncos, Nate McCray, running back, not surprised. Cray Vincent Jr., cornerback. Definitely not surprised. We just have so much depth at cornerback there. Jamar Johnson, safety. Bradley Chubb, inactive. Cameron Fleming, Andrew Beck, and McTelvin Agim at defensive end. So Beck is probably the only one I'm surprised by because of his ability to be that fullback, right? So, there's no injury talk going on around Beck, but it just could be one of those things, just a healthy scratch based off the game plan they have for this team. That's I couldn't tell you, but out of that list, the only one that really stands out to me is Beck. Agim a little bit, again, because we're healthy, just another depth scratch, healthy scratch. And so that's going to be what it is. Now for the Giants, the big one they have there, Evan Ingram, their main tight end. We're not going to call him a star tight end, just their number one tight end is out for the game. And that, of course, is going to hurt them a lot as well. So, looking at the inactives, a lot of these are healthy scratches. Thank God that we don't have a lot of injuries. Knock on wood. I'm knocking on wood. You should all too. That stays the same after by the end of this game. Andrew, how you doing? 26-17 Broncos. Let's see, Jerry. Glad you're here. I want to see my favorite Von Miller kick some ass. Yeah, now he's I think he's poised to go out there and make a comeback. And this is a good, not just this game, next week's game against Jacksonville as well. And then week 3 against the Jets in Denver. These 3 games in a row are really setting the Broncos up to work through some of their early season mistakes and sloppiness that just every team has. In early season, every team is sloppy in some degree early season, right? But we should be able to walk away with wins in at least 2, if not all 3 of these games. And so that's going to be something to watch for. Von Miller, I would fully expect to see get at least 1 sack today. Pat Surtain, I'm going to expect to see 1 interception today. Man, I'm hoping that we put some big points on the board. And my score prediction, you could listen to that on the pregame podcast here after this, and maybe fast forward to the end if you wanted to. But I did give the Giants 17 points, and I think that was more just going to be based off of catching us on maybe some misreads or miscommunication in the backfield or something like that, right? And so I if this was a midseason game, I would expect that we would stomp on the Giants just utterly. But I think it might be a little bit of a closer game because week 1, we're trying not to get injured. We're trying to make sure that we're just playing smart football and not turn over the ball and work through some of those mistakes. You're going to see some drop passes today. It's just going to happen. It's week 1. I know it's going to be frustrating, but just bear with it and we'll be okay. Leanna, how you doing? Good to see you. Broncos 31, Giants 13. Norman, Broncos and Broncos only. This is our season. Hey, I'm feeling good. For the first time since Super Bowl 50, I'm feeling good about this team. Really am. More than just, I'm happy that the Broncos are back. There's a lot of positive things going on with this team. We're healthy. We have experience. We have depth. The depth that we have got a lot of playing experience last year because of our injuries. And not a lot of teams can say that. You can have depth, but if your starters are out there the majority of the time playing, those depth players really aren't getting a lot of game time experience, where our depth players did last year. Our second and third string players were out there a lot last year as they were covering for the injuries that we were facing. Tony, Broncos 34, Giants 17, Mason 31-24, Broncos. Norman 34-19, Broncos. Mason, I'm thinking Noah Fant will also have a big opener. Yeah. Now there's some questions about how big Noah Fant's going to be this year. And I think it's tied to the extent of Teddy Bridgewater, check down Teddy, that's kind of what he does. Right. And so are we expecting him to be, excuse me, throwing down the field? It's Noah Fant. Maybe not. What kind of production are we going to get from Noah Fant? That's a question that we just don't know yet. Noah Fant is going to, be a solid player. I don't doubt that, but in terms of his production, we don't really know what that's going to look like yet. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens there. But I'm all in on Noah Fant for sure. Jerry Wallace, I'm looking for a good pass game going on. Yes. Now this is interesting. Don't know. I couldn't tell you. Are we going to be really relying on our running backs, or are we going to keep it 50-50 and, letting Teddy Bridgewater go out there and, throw the ball around, see what he does, right? Letting him open it up, throw deep maybe a couple of times. We definitely have the speed in our wide receiver room to let that happen. Players get down deep. But is that going to actually translate to us producing in terms of long passes, short passes, where we just get the ball in the open field and then we make the play? We give the playmakers a chance to run around and make something happen for bigger gains. I think that's probably the more likely option. You're going to see a lot of 5 kind of yard passes, and then hopefully some of these players, Jerry Jeudy, can make that into something bigger, right? So I don't know. I couldn't tell you. It's going to be interesting. This dynamic, we don't know. We have really strong running backs. We have a quarterback with check down Teddy and I don't know. I couldn't tell you. But we'll definitely get a much better sense as the season goes along. Hey, really quickly, guys, as I keep going down these questions, you're awesome. Hit that share button for me. I'm glad you're all here and interacting. This is what we do here at Orange Weekly. We're all about, talking with you guys and interacting with you guys. Make sure you check out the Ragers podcast, RAYGERS, if you are interested in sports betting. Even if you're not interested in sports betting, Jared and Ray do a great job breaking down what the betting lines are for the upcoming game. And it's kind of like a pre-game feel, if you will, because they explain what bets they're taking. And not just, hey, I'm going to take this one and that one, but why they're going to take those bets and how it translates into what they think is going to happen within the game itself. So make sure you check out the Ragers podcast as part of the Orange Weekly set of lineup. And make sure you check us out at halftime. I'll be here at halftime with y'all. So join us live then as well. Cool. Moving on down the line, Steve, how you doing? If we run the ball efficiently, we will win the game. Yeah, and how many times last year did we see that we were throwing the ball 50, 60 times, and we were losing those games? We have to run the ball. We have to stick to the run game. One question that one thing I always brought up last year was how quickly we abandoned the run game. Second quarter, third quarter, maybe we're only down by 10 points and we completely abandoned the run game. Is that going to be the case this year? I don't know. I don't know. I don't want it to be. We need to stick with the run game. We have the offensive line to do it. We have the running backs to do it. And as long as we are keeping it about 50-50, we're going to be okay. But as soon as you see us start airing the ball out 50, 60 times in a game, that's when we're going to be hurting and probably asking for a loss, to be honest with you. Henry, how you doing? Glad to see you. 24-6 Broncos. Robert, 24-12 Broncos. Let's see. Dan, this is a good way to start the season off strong and start some momentum. Yeah, this week, next week, and the week after. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better, September lineup, if you will. The Jacksonville Jaguars look like they're a complete mess. And then you have the Jets, which will be playing them at home, so that'll be our first home game here in a couple weeks against the Jets. Now, the good thing is the Broncos, it's the afternoon time game. It's not the 11 a.m. on the East Coast, so hopefully that doesn't come back and bite us, because we all know how the Broncos do at the early time slot on the East Coast. And then also next week when they do play the 11 a.m. game. So the Broncos are actually going to, from what I'm hearing, stay down over there in Jacksonville this whole next week, get used to the heat, get used to the humidity, and not travel back to Colorado and then back out to Jacksonville for the game. They're going to stay down there in Florida and practice and get ready for the game. So that should hopefully help us out, and hopefully walk away with 2 wins to start the season before coming back home. Brian, hello from Illinois. Where are y'all at? Let me hear. Let me shout it out. We're all out. I'm out here in Colorado, about 20 minutes away from the stadium. So good stuff there. Dan, let's see. I was upset the news commentators just brushed over the fact Broncos didn't allow a TD. Yeah, Dan, I got you. I really do. But it's preseason, and so they're not going to take too much into account when it comes to preseason, right? It really doesn't. I mean, we could be winning, 60-0, and they'd be like, oh, yeah, but it's the Broncos and it's preseason. Now, of course, Kansas City, if they did that, they'd be fawning over them, like, oh, my God, look at Kansas City. They didn't give up a single touchdown. Oh, they're so amazing. But, people just out there in the ESPN land don't like Broncos. They're very, very much laughing at the Broncos and just don't see us as contenders. And I think that's fuel for the players. They know that. You look at whatever the power rankings, which are, I don't care for power rankings. It is what it is. Look, we could go 3-0 and there's these first 3 games and you're still going to hear people, especially in the sports media, say, yeah, but they played, some of the worst teams in the league. So they're still not that great. So don't get upset when you hear the Broncos, be still referred to as, they're just, they're not that good of a team. They're not going to make the playoffs. We're going to have to beat some tougher teams first before we actually start moving up in these power rankings and get taken seriously in the league for sure. But hopefully today we don't give up any touchdowns. That'd be fantastic, because then we can do it in a regular season game, and that would be great. But we will see for sure. Dan, Brian Sheffield, I'm in Illinois as well, so we got some Illinois Broncos fans out there. Anthony, your comment came up blank. Sorry about that. Deanna, how you doing? We always get brushed off, but we're going to win. Agreed. That's what I am expecting to see and excited to see. Travis, one of the OGs here at Orange Weekly, how you doing? Time to get the first win. Yes, for the love of God, I do not want to go through September without another win. And look, let's face it, we go through September without a win, Fangio's job is pretty much done. It kind of doesn't matter what we do at that point. If we go 0-3 to start the season, knock on wood that we don't do that, Fangio's done. He probably won't last the season at that point, because in the season, the schedule gets a lot tougher from there. Not to say that it's not manageable and that we can't win these games, because I fully believe that we can. But if we do anything less than 2-1 to start the season, Fangio is let's talk about that if that happens, because I don't want to go there. It's not going to be pretty for the Broncos. That's for sure. Deanna, Bridgewater is going to be amazing. That's what I sure am hoping for. I think we're all waiting for that as well. Anthony, big one. That's what I was just talking about. Balance on offense is huge. We've got to have that mixture of running the ball and passing the ball equally, right? As soon as you start abandoning the run game, it's going to get messy. I think that we've just seen it too many times in the past couple of years, that especially last year, you abandon the run game, and if I don't know what else to say, we've seen the result. It's not good. It leads to us turning the ball over more. It turns to us losing those games, and you can make the argument that Philip Lindsay wasn't doing fantastic last year. He was injured last year. You can make the argument that our running game in general wasn't great last year. That's just not the case. We have a great running back room that these guys can go out there and really make. And all we need is 3-4 yards a run, 3-4 yards a run, and we're going to be looking pretty. I don't expect this offense to be spectacular. It's not going to be like, oh my God, that was such an amazing play. But as long as we're moving the ball efficiently, I think that's what we're looking for on offense, really controlling the ball, and that's what's going to help lead us to this win. Daniel, your comment came up blank, so sorry, man. Jerry, do we have a good enough defense to keep Bridgewater safe? In terms of our defense, I think our defense is probably going to be the top. Okay, taking my orange-colored goggles off for a second, we have a top 3 defense easily if we stay healthy, knock on wood. Okay. Orange goggles on, I think we have the best defense in the league. Okay. Now, when it comes to the offensive line, one question there when it comes to protecting Bridgewater, one thing we need to see is Garrett Bowles. Can he continue what he did last year? And what he did last year was phenomenal. But was that a fluke, or was that, he's really stepped into his zone and he's going to continue being like the number 1, number 2 left tackle in the league? And that's what I expect him to be. I don't expect him to take any steps backwards, but that's what we need him to be. We also need to see Cushenberry. Cushenberry kind of really did lock up that center position. It sounded like he made a ton of improvements over the league or over the offseason to lock in that center position and then the right tackle position as well. I think just overall, we have the pieces there. How do they perform? Well, only time will tell. And today, here in about 30 minutes, 25 minutes, we'll start finding out. So we have the pieces in place to protect Teddy Bridgewater. We really do. It's more, can Teddy stay calm, make those reads, not feel panicked, go through his read progressions, throw the ball away if he needs to, but not turn over the ball. How many times have we said over the last couple of years that we've lost games because we turn over the ball too many times? We cannot allow whoever the quarterback is to turn over the ball. If we do that, we're going to be looking at a winning record season. Period. At the end. I think that's really what it comes down to. Period. The end. Take some of the pressure off of our own defense and allow us to go out there and win some games. Let's see, Daniel. Hey, at least fans, racks, and stands. 100%. It was so great to be in Mile High for the preseason game. That last one there a couple weeks ago. Fantastic. I expect to see a lot of orange in the stands today out there in the Giants Stadium. So, man, it's going to be fun to see. Daniel, you're from Denver. Awesome. I'm right up here in Westminster. Deanna, you're in Alaska. Nice. Fantastic. Paula, Kentucky. Jerry, you're in Salt Lake City, but born in Denver. Okay. Nice. Let's see. Amazing players are going to be awesome this season. How come I'm not in the whites? So I'm clumsy. I don't have white jerseys for a reason, because about 5 minutes after putting a white jersey on, I spill something and I stain it. And it gets pretty unwearable pretty quickly. That's just who I am. I could be walking around and somehow find myself tripping in mud or dropping beer all over myself. I don't know. I'm clumsy. So that's why I don't have any white jerseys. I'll be completely honest with you. But good question, John. Good question. Dan, I wish they used the analogy with Tom Brady. Division was trash. Tom Brady was usually guaranteed 6 free wins just because their division is garbage. Yep. Completely agreed. Now, the one thing I want to caveat all the season talk with is our division. The Raiders, I don't think are going to be good this year. Just not because I hate the Raiders, just because I just don't think they're going to be good this year. We're going to have to wait and see what Herbert does with the Chargers out there. He could be a threat. I think we can beat the Chargers twice this year. I really, really, really do. We're going to have to be on our A game. It's not going to be like the Chargers of late, but I think we're going to have to be on our A game. We can be the Chargers twice. But then the question is, can we be the Chiefs once? If we can be the Chiefs once and beat the Chargers twice and the Raiders twice, I think you're looking at us being in the playoffs. So, and that's a weird thing to think about, right? That is a weird thing to think about, but I love it. Tom, I'm just happy football is back. Forever optimistic, forever positive, believe in the players. Hey, whatever happens today, guess what? There's game next week, period out the end. Whatever happens today, we're on to facing the Jacksonville Jaguars next week. And that's we're going to see what happens there. Duran, I'm probably saying her name wrong. I'm sorry, man. Chubb is a disappointment. I'm not disappointed. Obviously, he did not have a good year last year. He was injured as well. And it's tough, when you have. And look, Vaughn didn't do well when he doesn't have anyone else on the other side of him. That's really a threat. I think having that Bradley Chubb and Von Miller combination is what's going to help them both succeed. I'm not ready to count them out as a disappointment. I'm really not. I'm waiting to see what they do. Let's bring them back. Let's let them be healthy. Come back next week. Hopefully start playing, and we'll go from there. But hopefully that Chubb proves us all wrong and goes out there and has an all-pro season and makes it, gets double-digit sacks. That'd be fantastic, right, man? I feel you. I do feel the frustration, though. I really do. Let's see. Dan, big comment here. I mean, the Globetrotters are awesome, but there's a reason they play against D-League teams. Yep. That wouldn't work in the NBA teams. I admit I just don't like Tom Brady. He's great, but I think others were better regardless of stats. Yeah, and I mean, you're right. Yeah. And if we can get into a whole discussion about, the Tom Brady and when he was up there in New England and the division they were in and how much the division itself sucked, and even now where he's at in Tampa, the division isn't a great division by any means. So we have one of the toughest divisions that we're playing in. And that's going to mean that for the next, however long Pat Mahomes is in the league and with Kansas City, we're going to have a very competitive division to be in, unlike some of these other guys. So just something to think about. Looks like Chargers are going to get a win. Should be worried about them this year. Yeah. Not worried to the point where we should just automatically assume that we're going to lose to them. I think our defense is going to give them problems. You got the defensive mind of Coach Fangio, and you got our defensive players. I think that we can really cause havoc for Justin Herbert and the rest of the Chargers, and plus Chargers do Chargers things, they could be winning and then we'll find a way to beat them just because they suck at the end of the games and they blow it. But yeah, we should be worried. I would like to say that we could beat them twice this year. We can beat them twice this year. Realistically, probably only once. But if we really want to talk about playoffs, and that's a whole conversation for months from now, we need to beat him twice, though. But I think that still with him being as young as he is, coming into his second year now, I think we can beat them. But he is going to be a troublemaker in our side for the next however many years, just as much as Pat Mahomes. Maybe not as much as Pat Mahomes, but they're going to be giving us problems. They really are. So we'll see. We will see. Anthony from New Mexico, how you doing? John makes a very good point watching here on Twitter. 2 home games with the Chargers, wherever, 100%. That Chargers stadium is always filled with dark blue and some orange whenever we go play. So if you're out there in the area, go turn their stadium into another home game for the Broncos when we're on the road. So that is very true. We do travel well. Broncos country travels well wherever we go. It's fantastic to see. So I'm expecting to see a lot of orange in the stands today. Yeah, Dan agrees. Those are very critical games, and been diehard since early Elway's. Full Merle tatted on your back. Man, go Broncos indeed. Okay, guys, we are coming up on game time. Comments are starting to slow down. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget, I will be live here at halftime with you all. So as soon as halftime starts, you check your phone. It's what happens. As soon as halftime starts, we all pull out our phones. That's fine. That's just human nature. It's what we do. Just come on over to Facebook or Twitter or YouTube, whatever, and check us out. Join us for the Halftime Hash Show. We will be live talking about what's going on in the first half and sharing our thoughts and everything as we talk about that. Again, don't forget about our Monday night Orange Weekly After Dark, 9 p.m. Mountain Time. Bourbon Broncos No BS, Tuesday nights, 7 p.m. Mountain Time. We also got our pregame podcast, postgame podcast. Don't forget about the Ragers podcast. Tell your friends about us. Hit that share button and keep growing the Orange Weekly community. We have a Facebook group as well, so make sure you check us out in the group section and follow us everywhere on social media. We are probably there, whether it's – we don't have TikTok. That's probably the one thing we don't have. But pretty much everything else we have. So with that being said, Deanna, you say it best, go Broncos. Hey, guys, game time is right around the corner. Football is back. Good luck for all of those of you who are in fantasy leagues. I got 3. I think I'm winning them right now. We'll see how that holds. But bottom line, we are minutes away from the Broncos kickoff game 1 against the New York Giants, and I am ready to see these guys go out there and play. It's much anticipated, and we are ready to get the show on the road. So I will see you back here at halftime for the Halftime Hash. But at the end of the day, get ready for it. Kickoff coming up. Go Broncos. Take care, everyone.
Do what I like, yeah, I do what I like, yeah, I do what I like. Sipping goose, sip is right, and I go with the flow, yeah, I go with the flow, yeah, I go with the flow, cause I know I'm the show. In the zone, here I go, in the zone, here I go, in the zone, here I go, yeah, they know I'm a